You can feel it before you can explain it. The cereal box looks familiar, but the bag inside feels lighter. The shirt costs more, but the fabric twists after one wash. The delivery order starts cheap, then the total jumps at checkout. Somehow, every purchase now comes with a question. Did I really get what I paid for? This is about why so many everyday products feel worse, why the price keeps climbing anyway, and how smart businesses make lower value look normal. The point is not to panic. The point is to name the pattern clearly so the next purchase feels less mysterious, less unfair. The strange part is that most of this does not look like a scandal. It looks like a new package, a new fee, a new formula, a new app screen, a new loyalty deal, or a new version of the same thing you already bought. The shift is small enough to deny, but repeated enough to exhaust people. That is why people miss it. We are trained to watch the sticker price, but the real game often happens around the sticker price. The size changes, the quality changes, the rules change. The comparison becomes harder. When people say everything is low quality now, they are not always saying every product is trash. They are saying the relationship between price and value feels broken. They are paying more attention because the pain is finally obvious. Economists can measure inflation, but shoppers live inside it. A price index can say food rose by a certain amount, but your cart can feel worse because the package is smaller, the coupon is harder to use, and the cheaper option disappeared. That is why two households can hear the same inflation report and still feel completely different levels of pressure. That gap matters. Official numbers are useful, but they do not always capture the small insults of modern buying. A thinner towel, a weaker zipper, a watered-down sauce, a chair that wobbles, a gadget that cannot be repaired. The modern consumer does not simply buy products. The modern consumer navigates systems. Grocery systems, subscription systems, delivery systems, warranty systems, loyalty systems. Each one promises convenience. Each one can quietly take a little more. Start with the grocery store, because that is where the feeling becomes impossible to ignore. Food is emotional. You know what your household needs. You know what used to last. You know when a bag empties faster than it should. The grocery aisle is where abstract economics becomes a real decision between what you want and what you can justify. Federal food data has still shown grocery prices rising compared with the previous year, even after the worst inflation shock faded. That does not mean every item rose at once. It means the whole environment stayed expensive enough for shoppers to feel trapped. Now add shrinkflation. That is when a product gives you less while the price does not fall enough to match. The package may look nearly the same, but the unit price changes. You buy habit, and habit hides the math. The trick works because most people do not bring last month's package to the store for comparison. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has explained that consumers tend to notice price changes more than size changes. That one fact explains a lot. A company can raise the real price without making the shelf tag scream. Shrinkflation is not the whole inflation story. Government analysis has found that it is small in the overall price picture. But that does not mean it is small in your kitchen. It can hit certain categories hard enough to feel personal. Paper products are a perfect example. A roll can look normal from far away while sheets get smaller, thinner, or fewer. The package still fills shelf space. Your closet still looks stocked. Then it runs out sooner. Cereal does the same psychological trick. The box can stay tall. The front can stay colorful. The weight printed in small type can change. Unless you compare unit prices, you may not notice until breakfast feels strangely expensive. The disappointment is not only that it costs more, it is that the familiar rhythm of household use stops matching the familiar look of the package. Ice cream is another classic case, not because every container changed, but because frozen desserts taught shoppers a lesson. A shape can suggest abundance while the actual amount is lower than memory expects. Then comes skimpflation, the quieter cousin. Shrinkflation takes away quantity. Skimpflation takes away quality. The sauce tastes thinner. The snack has less seasoning. The towel sheds. The service gets slower. The price stays proud. Skimpflation is harder to prove because taste, texture, durability, and service are messy. A company can blame supply costs, new recipes, health goals, sustainability, or changing preferences. Sometimes those reasons are real. Sometimes they are convenient. That makes it a perfect pressure valve for businesses that want to protect price image without protecting value. This is why the conversation gets heated. One person says, "This product is worse." Another says, "Prove it." But consumers are not running laboratories. They are noticing repeated disappointment across ordinary things. A cookie that used to feel rich now feels airy. A frozen meal has more sauce and less protein. A bottle cap feels cheaper. A couch arrives in a box, but the boards feel temporary. None of this needs conspiracy to happen. The incentive is enough. If a company faces higher costs and knows customers hate sticker shock, it has choices. Raise the price, shrink the product, reduce the ingredient cost, reduce service, or bury the increase in fees. Nobody has to sit in a dark room plotting against shoppers for the outcome to feel unfair. The most elegant move is the one customers notice last. Keep the visible signal familiar and reduce the invisible value. Same shelf space. Same logo style. Same emotional promise. Less substance. That is why packaging has become a theater of reassurance. Big air pockets, wide boxes, deep trays, thick plastic shapes, and bright claims tell your eyes one story while the weight tells another. Some empty space in packaging is practical. Chips need room so they do not become dust. Products settle. Protection matters. But shoppers are right to be suspicious when the package seems designed to preserve the illusion of abundance. Honest packaging protects trust. Ambiguous packaging spends trust. The harder a package is to compare, the easier it is to overpay. One jar uses ounces. Another uses servings. Another advertises family size. Another says value size. The real comparison is usually the unit price, and even that can be easy to miss. Unit prices are supposed to help, but they demand attention at the exact moment the store is trying to drain your attention. The aisle is crowded. The cart is full. A child is asking for snacks. Your phone is buzzing. Retail is built around that moment. Not because shoppers are stupid, but because shoppers are human. Stores know that tiny frictions change behavior. A product at eye level feels easier. A product at the end of the aisle feels special. The modern store asks you to do math while it surrounds you with color, noise, urgency, and choices. Federal trade officials have studied slotting allowances, where suppliers pay for shelf access or placement. The details vary, and the practice is not automatically illegal. But it shows that shelves are not neutral public space. Shelves are paid attention. That means the best product is not always in the best spot. The cheapest product is not always easiest to see. The item you grab first may be the item someone most wanted you to grab. Once you understand that placement has a price, the aisle starts looking less like a neutral display and more like a negotiation you were not invited to. End-of-aisle displays are especially powerful because they feel like deals even when they are not the best deal. The location itself creates urgency. It whispers that this must be on promotion because why else would it be there? Academic retail studies have found that end caps can strongly lift sales. That should not surprise anyone who has walked in for milk and left with cookies, batteries, sparkling water, and a seasonal candle. The store layout turns a simple errand into a path of temptations. Staples often sit deeper inside the store for practical reasons, but the result is the same. You travel past more products before you reach what you came for. None of this is mind control. It is design. And design works best when people believe they are making completely independent choices while the environment gently stacks the odds. The design is quiet, but the receipt is loud. Now bring in loyalty cards. The old pitch was simple: join and save. The modern version is more complicated. The shelf tag may show one price for members and another for everyone else. That makes the regular price feel almost like a penalty. The store can say the discount is generous. The shopper feels forced to join just to avoid being overcharged. Savings become the reward for surrendering data. Loyalty programs can be useful. People do save money with them. But they also create a record of what you buy, how often you buy it, which offers pull you back, and what you ignore. The Federal Trade Commission has been looking at targeted pricing systems that use personal data and behavior to shape prices or offers. The concern is simple. When prices become personalized, shoppers may not know whether they are seeing a fair deal. Even the possibility changes the way people feel about a deal, because a price that is different for each person is harder to call transparent. This does not mean every grocery loyalty discount is secretly personalized against you. It means the direction of retail is clear. More data, more segmentation, more prices that depend on who the system thinks you are. That changes the emotional meaning of a bargain. A coupon used to feel like a simple discount. Now it can feel like a test. Did you clip the digital offer? Did you buy enough? Did you follow the rule hidden in the app? Coupons used to be annoying paper. Digital coupons are cleaner, but they can be more exclusionary. If you do not have the app, the account, the patience, or the time, you may pay more for the same item. That is one reason modern shopping feels lower quality, even when the product itself is unchanged. The experience is worse. The burden shifted from the seller to the buyer. The buyer must decode the deal. Private labels add another layer. Store brands can be a real blessing for shoppers. Many are good. Some are made by major manufacturers. Some beat national brands on price without a noticeable quality drop. But private labels also give retailers more power over the shelf. When the store owns the cheaper alternative, it can decide how aggressively to promote it, where to place it, and how much pressure to put on name brands. For shoppers, this can be good or bad. It can lower costs when national brands push prices too far. It can also make comparisons blurrier because the store is both referee and player. It can also make a familiar national brand look irrationally expensive, even when the true quality gap is small or unknown. The middle of the market is under pressure. Many shoppers trade down to the cheapest acceptable option or trade up to a premium product that feels worth it. The ordinary brand in the middle has to justify itself. That is why premium labels are everywhere now. Premium chips, premium water, premium coffee, premium pet food, premium detergent. The word premium often means better materials or ingredients. It can also mean better storytelling. A premium product can be worth it, but the label itself is not proof. Sometimes premium means the baseline got worse, and the old normal is now sold back to you as an upgrade. That is one of the nastiest tricks in modern consumption. Reduce the standard option, make the comfortable option more expensive. Then present basic quality as a luxury tier. When normal becomes premium, the shopper is not upgrading. The market is moving the floor. You see it in travel. You see it in software. You see it in appliances. You see it in food. The thing that used to be included becomes an add-on, a membership, a plus plan, or a premium line. Delivery apps made this feeling mainstream. The menu looks convenient. The first screen feels manageable. Then fees appear. Service fees, small order fees, delivery fees, priority fees, tips, sometimes higher menu prices too. The Federal Trade Commission has warned that hidden or misleading fees in food and grocery delivery remain a serious concern. The agency has asked whether platforms clearly show total prices and whether online prices differ from store prices. That matters because the mind anchors to the first price it sees. If a meal starts at a reasonable amount, every added charge feels smaller than it is. By checkout, the total can feel too late to challenge. Convenience has become one of the most expensive products in America. Not because convenience is fake, but because it is powerful. When you are tired, hungry, busy, or caring for family, time feels more valuable than math. The service may be useful, but the path to the final price is often too foggy. Businesses understand this. They know the exhausted customer is less likely to comparison shop, less likely to abandon a cart, and more likely to accept a bad total because dinner needs to happen. This is not a moral failure by the shopper. It is a market built around fatigue. The modern economy often monetizes the exact moments when people have the least energy to resist. Convenience becomes most profitable when saying no feels harder than paying yes. Now step away from food and look at the things in your home. The complaint is familiar. Appliances do not last like they used to. Clothes stretch out, Furniture chips, electronics become hard to repair. Some nostalgia is unfair. Older products that survived are the winners. The broken ones disappeared. New products can also be cheaper, safer, lighter, and more efficient. The past was not perfect, but repair has changed. The Federal Trade Commission has reported that some manufacturers use adhesives, limit spare parts, restrict diagnostic tools, or withhold repair information. That can make ownership feel weaker. When a product is hard to repair, the real quality is lower than the showroom quality. A device can look beautiful on day one and still be bad value if one small failure turns it into waste. This is where design choices matter. A glued battery, a sealed housing, a proprietary screw, or a software lock can turn a fixable problem into a replacement purchase. That is not always illegal, it is still costly. The consumer pays twice. First at checkout. Then later when the repair option is expensive, delayed, restricted, or unavailable. The product may not be designed to fail, but it may be designed to be replaced. That distinction is important. It is easy to claim every company intentionally builds junk. The more accurate truth is sharper. Many companies optimize for cost, speed, appearance, and repeat sales, while durability fights for budget. Durability is boring in a quarterly report. It does not sparkle on a product page. It does not create a flashy launch. It quietly prevents the next purchase, which is exactly why it can lose inside a business. Repairability is quality you may not need today, but you will care about the moment something fails. Materials are another pressure point. A slightly thinner fabric saves money at scale. A cheaper zipper saves money at scale. Less metal, more plastic, fewer stitches, lighter hardware. Small changes become huge when multiplied. The customer experiences those savings as disappointment. The company experiences them as margin protection. Both views can be true at the same time. That is why low quality often arrives quietly. It does not announce itself. It shows up 6 weeks later when the seam opens. 6 months later when the hinge loosens. 1 year later when the warranty is gone. A product can be beautiful, cheap, and popular while still being fragile in ways the buyer cannot see. Warranty language can also make products feel better than they are. A long warranty sounds comforting until exclusions, shipping costs, proof requirements, or limited coverage make it harder to use than expected. Return policies have become part of the quality equation. A cheap product with easy returns can feel less risky. But easy returns also normalize buying things that should have been made better in the first place. There is a hidden environmental cost here too. Global electronic waste has grown into a major problem, driven by more devices, shorter life cycles, limited repair, and weak recycling systems. Low repairability does not vanish after checkout. Every broken gadget becomes someone else's landfill, sorting problem, or recycling challenge. The customer sees a dead device. The world sees a material stream full of metals, plastics, batteries, and toxic risks. In that sense, a broken product is also a broken promise about how long your money should work for you. Fast fashion follows the same pattern. Low prices create constant novelty. Constant novelty reduces patience for durability. The shirt does not need to last for years if the business model expects you back next month. But cheap is not always the villain. Many people buy cheap because they have to. The problem is when cheap products become worse while better products move out of reach, leaving households trapped between bad options. A working-class family knows quality better than anyone. They know which shoes survive school, which pans warp, which backpacks tear, which chargers die. Low quality is not an aesthetic complaint. It is a budget crisis. Because when something breaks early, the true price doubles. Buy cheap, replace fast, repeat. The household with less cash often pays more over time because durable options require money up front. This is the poverty premium in product form. The person who can afford the better item may spend less across years. The person who cannot afford it gets punished by replacement cycles. That is also why the phrase low quality now feels so emotional. It is not just disappointment. It is the feeling of being cornered by an economy that sells temporary relief as affordability. Meanwhile, official language stays calm. Price adjustment, reformulation, channel strategy, consumer segmentation, value engineering, revenue management. These phrases sound clean. The shopper translation is simple. Less for me. These words can be harmless, but they also make a cut sound like a strategy and a downgrade sound like progress. Value engineering is not automatically bad. Engineers can remove waste, simplify design, and lower cost without hurting performance. Good value engineering is smart. Bad value engineering is quality erosion with a nicer name. The line between efficiency and cheapening can be thin. If a change removes useless packaging, great. If it removes strength, nutrition, comfort, service, or repairability while keeping the price high, people notice. Food reformulation works the same way. Sometimes recipes change for safety, allergens, health rules, or supply availability. Sometimes they change because a cheaper ingredient protects margin. The label may not explain the trade-off clearly. A shopper cannot taste a spreadsheet, but a shopper can taste a cheaper oil, less cocoa, more filler, thinner sauce, or a smaller portion. The body notices what the press release smooths over. Restaurants are not immune. Portions can shrink. Staff can be stretched. Menus can become simplified. Ingredients can change. Prices can rise. The experience becomes more expensive and less generous. The menu says one thing. The appetite says another. The bill settles the argument. Some restaurants are fighting to survive. Rent, wages, insurance, utilities, and ingredients are real costs. But the customer still judges the final plate. Sympathy does not make a small portion feel full. That tension runs through the whole economy. Many sellers face legitimate cost pressure. Many buyers face legitimate budget pressure. The conflict grows because both sides are squeezed and trust gets thin. Trust is the real product being destroyed. When people believe a company is honest, they tolerate mistakes. When they feel played, every package redesign looks suspicious. The grocery industry learned during the pandemic that disruption can reset expectations. Shortages made people accept higher prices, limited choices, and substitutions. Some of those pressures faded. Some prices did not feel like they fully came back. The Federal Trade Commission reported that grocery supply disruptions hurt consumers and that some industry profits remained elevated after the shock. That does not prove every price is unfair. It does show why people question the official story. Once customers accept a higher price, companies rarely rush to lower it unless competition forces them. That is not evil. That is business. The uncomfortable question is how much competition shoppers actually see. In many areas, families have only a few realistic grocery options. Transportation, time, location, and work schedules limit choice. A cheaper store across town is not cheap if reaching it costs fuel, time, and energy. This is why advice like just shop smarter can become insulting. Smart shopping helps, but it does not erase market power, high housing costs, limited transit, childcare pressure, and the simple fact that everyone needs food. Still, awareness matters. The system works best when shoppers move on autopilot. The moment you compare unit prices, check weights, question fees, and slow down around displays, the spell weakens. The first defense is to separate price from value. A lower shelf price can be a worse deal if the package is smaller. A higher price can be worth it if the product lasts longer. The question is cost per use. Cost per use is how you fight the cheap trap. A pan that lasts years may be cheaper than 3 pans that warp. A stronger pair of shoes may beat 2 weak pairs. Durability is a form of savings. For groceries, the equivalent is cost per meal. A flashy snack may be cheap per package but expensive per serving. A basic ingredient may look boring but feed more people with less waste. The second defense is to distrust vague size language. Family size, party size, mega size, value pack, and share pack are marketing terms. The weight and unit price are the real conversation. The third defense is to treat digital coupons as work. If the deal requires an app, a login, a clip, a minimum quantity, and a deadline, it is not just a discount. It is a task assigned to the customer. The customer becomes a part-time analyst just to buy dinner and paper towels. The fourth defense is to watch the checkout total like a hawk. Delivery orders, online groceries, service appointments, tickets, subscriptions, and rentals can all grow after the first price appears. A fee is still a price. Splitting one price into 5 smaller labels does not make the product cheaper. It only makes the pain arrive in pieces. The fifth defense is to reward repairability. Before buying electronics or appliances, search whether parts, manuals, and independent repair options exist. A product that cannot be fixed should have to earn your trust harder. The sixth defense is to read bad reviews differently. Ignore the angry one-line complaints. Look for patterns. Broken hinge, thin fabric, dead battery, missing parts, poor warranty response. Patterns reveal quality. The seventh defense is to remember that premium is not a synonym for durable. Some premium products are excellent. Some are ordinary products wearing better packaging, heavier fonts, and softer lighting. The eighth defense is to use store brands strategically. Try them where quality risk is low. Compare ingredients and unit prices. Keep the ones that perform. Drop the ones that only look cheaper. The cleanest market is not the one with the most choices. It is the one where choices are understandable. The ninth defense is to reduce emergency buying. This is hard, but powerful. The more urgent the purchase, the more pricing power the seller has. Planning is not glamorous, but it protects money. The 10th defense is to talk about it. Companies can ignore private frustration longer than public comparison. When shoppers share real package changes, repair problems, and fee screenshots, patterns become harder to dismiss. But be careful with claims. Not every change is shrinkflation. Not every recipe change is greed. Not every broken product proves a conspiracy. The strongest criticism is precise because precision is harder to brush off. Say this package used to weigh more. Not this company is evil. Say the app showed fees late. Not every platform is a scam. Say the repair part is unavailable. Not all modern products are designed to fail. Accuracy makes the argument stronger. People already feel the frustration. What they need is language that can survive scrutiny. The emotional damage is the loss of trust in ordinary objects. The phrase, "everything you buy now is low quality" works because it captures a mood. But the deeper truth is more specific. Value is being shaved from many directions at once. A little less product, a little more air, a slightly cheaper ingredient, a weaker part, a harder repair, a later fee, a coupon behind a login, a shelf designed to distract. None of it feels huge alone. Together, it changes the meaning of shopping. The consumer no longer asks, "Do I want this?" The consumer asks, "What is the catch?" That suspicion is expensive too. It costs time. It costs attention. It turns ordinary errands into investigations. It makes people feel foolish for trusting a box, a price tag, or a familiar brand. There is a reason older people talk about things lasting longer. Sometimes memory edits the past. But sometimes they are describing a different relationship between products and owners. A repair shop used to be part of normal life. Sewing, mending, sharpening, replacing a part, fixing a cord, keeping a machine alive. Now replacement often feels easier than repair because the economy was built that way. The result is a culture of temporary ownership. We own the receipt. We own the packaging. We own the first impression. But we do not always own a product that welcomes maintenance. Software has pushed this further. Features can change after purchase. Apps can lose support. Subscriptions can replace one-time ownership. A product can work physically but become worse because the service around it changes. This is not only about cheap goods. Expensive goods can be low quality too. A high price can hide bad construction if the brand story is strong enough and the buyer has no easy way to inspect the inside. Price alone can seduce people because the failure is usually scheduled for later. That is why transparency matters. People need clearer unit prices, clearer fee disclosure, clearer repair information, clearer warranty terms, and clearer package changes. Some policy ideas aim at this. Labels for downsized products, repairability scores, rules against hidden fees, stronger warranty enforcement, privacy limits on personalized pricing. None of these fixes everything, but each attacks confusion. Businesses often say consumers vote with their dollars. That only works when consumers can see the ballot. Hidden fees, hidden shrinkage, hidden repair blocks, and hidden data pricing make the vote less honest. A fair market does not require every product to be premium. It requires clear trade-offs. Sell cheap if it is cheap. Sell durable if it is durable. Sell convenience if the full cost is visible. The anger comes from disguised trade-offs. People can accept paying less for less. They hate paying more for less while being told it is innovation. Innovation has become one of the most abused words in shopping. A resealable bag can be useful. A thinner product with a new slogan is not innovation. A subscription for what used to be included is not magic. It is a word that can describe progress or disguise the removal of something people quietly depended on. Sustainability can be abused the same way. Less waste is good. Less product in a hard-to-recycle package is not automatically green. A company should not use environmental language to hide worse value. Health language can also distract. Less sugar, less salt, cleaner ingredients, or fewer additives can be good. But if a healthier recipe is also smaller, pricier, and less satisfying, shoppers deserve honesty about the trade-off. Convenience language hides costs too. Ready to eat, pre-cut, single-serve, instant, delivered, curated, smart. These can be useful. They can also turn basic goods into higher-margin experiences. The more fragmented the product becomes, the more ways there are to charge. Food becomes meal kits. Software becomes subscriptions. Shipping becomes tiers. Customer support becomes plans. Shopping becomes memberships. Memberships are the new toll booths. Some save money for heavy users. Others make people feel they must pay upfront to unlock normal pricing. The danger is forgetting that the membership fee is part of the product cost. Subscriptions rely on quiet continuation. A product you forget to cancel is a product still billing you. That can make low quality survive longer than it should because the decision to leave is delayed. This is another reason the marketplace feels degraded. Companies increasingly profit from friction, confusion, inertia, and fatigue. The product is not just what you buy. It is the trapdoor around what you buy. Friction is profitable when the customer is too busy to fight it. But the story is not hopeless. Shoppers are adapting. They compare unit prices. They buy secondhand. They repair. They switch to store brands. They cook more. They share warnings. They make companies fight harder for trust. The companies that understand this have an opening. Build things that last. Make packages honest. Show total prices early. Let repairs happen. Respect customers who are tired of being managed. There is demand for quality, not luxury. Quality. A zipper that works. A jar that is full. A fee shown up front. A chair that does not wobble. A device that can be repaired. A coupon that does not require a scavenger hunt. The brands that win long-term will not only be the cheapest, they will be the ones that reduce anxiety. In a low-trust market, clarity becomes a competitive advantage. The pattern is the product of incentives, and incentives can be challenged. For consumers, the goal is not paranoia. You cannot inspect every stitch, audit every ingredient, and compare every fee every day. That would be its own kind of misery. The goal is pattern recognition. Know where the games usually happen. Packaged foods, paper goods, delivery apps, subscriptions, cheap furniture, fast fashion, hard-to-repair electronics, vague premium claims. When you know the pattern, you do not need to be angry all the time. You just become harder to fool. You pause before the end cap. You check the weight. You ask whether the deal is really a deal. You also stop blaming yourself for feeling squeezed. The checkout line is not just a place where you pay. It is where years of pricing strategy, supply shocks, data collection, and design psychology meet your wallet. That is why the feeling is so widespread. It is not one bad bag of chips. It is not one flimsy shirt. It is the repeated sense that quality is being negotiated downward while the bill keeps moving up. Once the baseline moves, yesterday's normal becomes tomorrow's upgrade. And because everyone buys things, everyone has evidence. The evidence is in drawers full of dead chargers, closets full of stretched shirts, pantries full of smaller packages, and apps full of totals that jumped. Still, the best response is not to romanticize the past. The best response is to demand a better present. Modern technology can make products cheaper, safer, cleaner, and more durable when incentives point that way. The problem is incentives. If customers reward only the lowest upfront price, companies chase cheapness. If investors reward only margin expansion, companies shave value. If platforms reward engagement, they add friction that keeps people inside. Changing incentives starts with visibility. When people notice unit prices, fees, repair limits, and quality patterns, bad value has fewer places to hide. It also starts with language. Instead of saying everything is a scam, say the value has been hollowed out. That is more accurate, more serious, and harder to dismiss. The best consumer is not cynical. The best consumer is awake. Because that is what low quality often means now. Hollow value. The outside still looks familiar. The promise still sounds generous. The inside carries less of the thing you thought you were buying. Your money is not just chasing higher prices. It is chasing moving targets. The package moves. The portion moves. The service moves. The warranty moves. The app rules move. The baseline keeps shifting under your feet. That moving baseline is why people feel poorer even when they make careful choices. They are not only paying more, they are doing more work to protect themselves from getting less. So the next time a product disappoints you, look past the single purchase. Ask what changed. Size, ingredients, material, repairability, fees, placement, coupon rules, or convenience habits. The answer is usually hiding in one of those places. And when you find it, do not just get mad. Use it. Compare, switch, delay, repair, share. Let the market know that your patience is not unlimited and your memory is not broken. Everything you buy now is not literally low quality, but enough things are worse, weaker, smaller, harder to repair, or harder to compare that the title feels true in daily life. The big takeaway is simple. Low quality is not always a product defect. Sometimes it is a pricing strategy. Sometimes it is a packaging strategy. Sometimes it is a data strategy. Sometimes it is a convenience strategy. A product can fail before it breaks if it wastes your time, hides its cost, blocks repair, shrinks without clarity, or makes you join a system just to get a fair price. That is the new consumer reality. The fight is not only for lower prices, it is for honest value. A full package, a clear price, a durable object, a repairable design, a deal that does not punish people for being busy. If this made you think of one product that became smaller, weaker, or strangely expensive, like the video, share it with someone who shops for a household and comment with the specific item you believe got worse first. The comment section is where people compare notes, and comparison is the one thing weak value hates.